You're live. You might be live. Okay. Kind of two things at once. Okay. This is an unboxing, but it's not an official unboxing because those are more of a pain in the butt, and the box is huge. Anyway, so I wouldn't be able to really fit this on camera conveniently because it's not like a pair of boots here. Um, because it's a wide brim hat and not a standard brim hat or a stingy brim hat. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm going to show both hats in this video, and that one will get shortchanged, I guess, because it doesn't show up in the title and blah blah blah. But to rewind slightly, okay, I had talked about some other brands previously. Okay, so when we're talking about like a standard brim, not a stingy brim, we're in the 3 to 3.5 width category. This is from Duluth, so this is presumably a lower quality felt or whatever, and it has a floppy brim. So when you get a hat at Boot Barn or someplace that isn't an expensive Stetson, this is kind of typically the quality you're going to get, and the sizes will run small, large, medium. And as you can plainly see, a medium fits me more or less correctly. And I have another one here from Dorfman Pacific. It's almost the exact same thing, but in a slightly different color that I've had for many years in a medium, and as you can see, basically fits me. And they're both Indiana Jones style hats without being Indiana Jones replica hats. Okay. In other words, fedoras. But both of these have a pinch front in a slightly different shape. This one being a little more safari, and this one being a little more Indiana Jones, actually, although his crown is kind of more of a stovepipe, so it's a bit taller, and his crease and his folds, might be slightly different. This one, of course, more my style, I guess, overall. And I went into that in one of the indie videos already and all that. More similarly, I showed these in the previous Aussie video. This is Outback Traders. Again, kind of a very round crown this time, and the size too small, and I had complained about how it is a small and therefore too small, but some of the mediums fit and the other ones didn't. They were too big. And so my head has this deceptive optical illusion thing to it where it's not actually round, it's actually more oval. So oval hats actually fit me a little bit better, but the round ones look better. So I don't know if I should show. So I have to kind of squeeze into this one, but it does not pinch because it moves a little bit. It has some give. And so even though it's you can see it's a smidge too small, I can still wear it more or less comfortably. But of course I don't, because it's an oil skin thing, so it's hot and it's black. So it mostly gets neglected in case I have wet weather. Whereas one like this, I actually do wear. Although this one, as you can see, is a little bit bigger. So I need the chin strap more, and usually might try to wear a bandana under this. But all of these hats cost like less than $50, right? Or something when I got them. They were not expensive, so it was easy to amass several of them, or almost many of them. And these actually weren't that much different. These, I got one in the full leather cockadoo ones, and again, a medium, not fitted, more or less the correct size. This one, they sent me the wrong model. I talked about this already, and I already wore it, and we had a pretty warm winter, so I sweated in it quite a bit. So I don't know if there's anything I can really do to remove this kind of salt deposit stuff from the brim and all that, but it's a little bit warm now for suede hats. I could still wear it a little bit, but I would be sweating in it even worse. So I don't know how much. And of course, this one has this system where you can put in your own string So I put the string in the same configuration as the previous model, and I just knocked my jacket and junk off, which I didn't really want to do yet. Okay, so obviously none of those are the hat that we're discussing today, or actually hats. But again, this is my size, whatever medium is supposed to be, 7 1/4 for some, 7 1/8 for others, but right in that ballpark. So as close as I possibly could. I did try to measure my head before I ordered these really expensive fitted ones. Try and make sure I didn't get the wrong size. Okay. Which, let's cut to the chase. I got 2 different sizes and they're both the wrong size, kind of. Because the numbers, as the woman keeps insisting on the phone, will solve the problem. Actually don't solve the problem because the fit and the measurement don't equate in the way I would like. So I'm hoping they don't have a run on these hats before I can send the thing back for an exchange, which is the story of my life and the size that I need. Okay. So on the top came this thing, and they had smushed in this felt thing, which I guess is supposed to go just outside to protect the hat when you're shipping it, or am I supposed to try and put this inside the hat to wear it? Because this is way thicker than is going to work for any hat that I own ever. Well, I have that one felt one that's a little big, but again, I can usually wear it with a bandana. But I don't usually wear it because I have other hats that fit, and so like why bother? Okay, but anyway, so here's the new and improved version with the stiff brim. Now, this is not my first stiff brim hat. I have 3 other ones at least. One that I've worn extensively on this channel when reviewing boots. One that I've shown in at least one of my cowboy hat videos. Although I don't recall if I wore it or not. But anyway, so it's got this leather band and the 3 holes. And so I thought this would be a nice addition to the collection. And I had bought a hat from them previously that I'm doing after this one because this is the one in the thumbnail, so I might as well show this one first. So that one had more of a round crown, and this one definitely has an oval crown. And she was saying long oval and steaming, and I was like, how can you steam a hat when you don't have my head there? I'm not in the place to try it on for you to steam it. So that made me apprehensive and nervous. But I decided to go up the size to what should be the size. And I said, I hope it's not overcompensating with the oval and the larger size. And to that, she had no real reply. Just, what's your credit card number? Okay, fine. And so you got this little guy bucking on a Bronco. I don't think I would want to wear this hat bucking on a Bronco because it costs way too much. I don't know. Some people, I guess, swear by the felt ones for working in the heat and blah, blah, blah. And personally, I find it's too hot for felt hats most of the year. And the leather ones, like I said, probably even worse. But I decided to try it. Okay, so if I put it on here, it's kind of okay. But if I move around and buck on a Bronco, it's not okay anymore. As you can see, if I barely shake my head, it's already coming down over my eyes. See, this doesn't do that. When I do that, I can do this like a lot and not really have that problem. And this hat cost me like $35. Okay. This hat cost an additional $210 plus another like $10 for shipping. And it falls down over my eyes. So to me, that means it's too freaking big. But with the chin strap, maybe it wouldn't be too big. But I definitely don't like this much movement in a hat that costs way more money than a cheap one. But overall, that's the styling of it. Kind of more of a flat fronty thing and a longer crown. So not in quite the same Indiana Jones shape and not quite a typical Cattleman shape. Now, the reason I picked this one instead of the one called the Cattleman, which was the one I was going to get, which probably would have suited me better, just has a smaller brim and I think has basically the shape. But I figured, well, if I'm spending that much money, I might as well get the biggest brim and, you know, cover that base. And I kind of liked the color in the book, but now that I'm seeing it on me, I don't really like the color. So there's that too. But it only comes in this color. So fawn, I think it's called. So if you don't like this kind of light tan that isn't quite their sun-baked beige or whatever, you won't like that. And then it has 3 eye holes that are probably almost big enough, but don't have a mesh overlay or whatever. Whereas this one just has 2 big holes. They're slightly bigger, but probably more effective. But you still get really sweaty in this, like I said, because it's oil skin. So maybe these holes are enough and big enough, and they have these metal grommets. That's okay. And then they don't have a normal chin strap thing. This is an unlined one, so it's a work hat supposedly. But for $250, you're not going to, like I said, you're probably not going to work in it. I guess some people will buy an expensive Stetson. I wouldn't, because again, I can get a hat like this and work in it all day long, and it won't cost near what this one costs. But supposedly this felt is better and lasts longer or something, and I don't know if that's true or not because I only just got it and haven't had a chance to wear it because, like I said, I can wear it, but I don't know how much I like the fit of that. It's close. It's so close, but I know if I went down to the next size down, it would be too tight, and that's annoying. And everybody always says, well, if the hat's too big, it's better because you can just put something in the sweatband and cinch it up. And I don't think that works at all. Not comfortably. And this is not the kind of hat that I necessarily want to wear with a bandana and go hiking in it. Anyway, I might as well show off the packaging and stuff. So it had this. So for those of you who are unboxing, is that AMR? I don't know. Was this on the, I think this was on the brim. I'm not positive, but it had already fallen off before I even opened the box. So I think it was like that at one point, but since it mailed upside down or whatever, it didn't matter. And it said fragile on the box, but the box was all kind of dented, but not destroyed for a change. So it wasn't as bad as getting something from like Guitar Center or UPS. But the whole side of this, I don't really want to show where it's all dented because the mailing label is there. But maybe you can see the dent there. Yeah, you can see where it was partially crushed, but the hat was not damaged. That's the stuff you're supposed to put inside the hat band to cinch it up. And like I said, if I wanted to experiment with that, I guess that would be an option, but I'd rather just send it back. Because like I said, I'm not as crazy about the color as I could be, and I don't want to have a hat where I have to feel like I have to screw with it to make it fit, because I already have other hats that I don't have to do that with. And maybe someday in the future I'll go through it all again. So I'm trying to do a video really fast. And there you go. You can read the little guy there. So it's an authentic thing, not a knockoff, as if that matters to anybody. Because I'm supposed to be 4 months into a no-buy year, but because of the current tariff issues or whatever, I did, I guess, rush this purchase, even though this was a thing I was going to buy back in November and then didn't. So I delayed the purchase, and then I had to turn around and rush the purchase where I wasn't really that hurry to get the hat anyway. Because, like I said, the whole thing about, was that supposed to be under there? But then maybe that was supposed to be under there, and they just packaged it wrong when they sent it. I'm not sure if this felt was supposed to be inside the hat to protect it from the cardboard. It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't want to fit in the hat very well. Maybe the felt was just to protect the cardboard from the box from being crushed. Maybe. I don't know. Well, that's what I'm going with. Is I'm going to repack this. Okay, whatever. I'll do it later. This is one of my sloppiest videos ever, but does not matter. Like I said, this is not the buy stuff channel. This is, if you like the look of it, if you think you can get the right fit, if you want to deal with it, then great. If not, then whatever. So this was the previous one that I already had that I waited too long to try on to find out that I needed to do an exchange, and they wouldn't let me. So I bought that one to see how it would fit different compared to this one. This one has a very round crown, more round. You can see it's a slight oval. Not perfectly round. I have wondered about if the campaign hats, the drill sergeant looking ones, you know, from pre-World War II or World War I rather. Teddy Roosevelt didn't wear that style, I don't think, but some people, I think they came out post-Civil War, but didn't become like issue hats until the Doughboy era. Somebody can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Anywho, even though I tried to half already pack this, I'll hold them up so you can see. So you can see that the crown is much more round and has the lining as opposed to the Some people will pull out the lining and use these as a work hat instead of a dress hat. I might be one of those people, although I don't think that will affect the fit in any positive way. I think that would make it less sweaty in your head. But this one is definitely too small. It doesn't quite go down. I can push it down just fine. But then the problem is wait 5 seconds and it starts to ride up in the back, and all of a sudden you have this problem again. So I'm not sure if I can get that steamed out at Boot Barn or not. But overall, I like the look of this much better. Not with the long hair necessarily. I'm not sure how much losing my hair would affect the fit and make it perfect, which might have been the case when I first got it. I might have had pretty short hair when I got it and thought it was fine. Maybe not perfect, but like, oh, it'll be fine kind of thing. And now I'm trying it on with hair and it's just a mess. So perhaps if I didn't have long hair, I would not be complaining as much, because I know I measured like crazy when I bought this stupid thing. And for whatever reason, I didn't return it at the time, even though I knew it was small when I bought it, a smidge. But I also didn't want to have, again, what I'm having with that hat, if I went up a size, where it's going to be doing this even worse than if I just have to push it down constantly. And I haven't figured out the whole chin strap thing yet. I did order an extra chin strap. And their chin straps are nylon, not some kind of fancy leather or something that you might expect. So that's whatever. But this one has, as you can see, a different design on the band and much larger eye holes, like I want. And you can see it's an authentic thing, not a whatever thing. Oh, I should have read the inside of the other one too, but made in Australia. So if there's any tariff woes, and whatever that says, there's a little seal, same as what's here. But see, this has this plastic, and I have some flat caps, some newsboy caps that have that too. And on those, I know I can just cut the plastic out if I'm careful. This you can't really cut out the plastic so much and just have the satin, I don't think. So yeah, and the satin is grommeted in, attached in through the, so you're not just going to be able to peel this out the way some people are acting. You are going to really have to cut around all of that to remove it. So maybe I'll wear it a bit first and see how sweaty and gross it gets. With the, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be like way too warm, but maybe this weekend I'll get to finally wear the thing and have a better assessment. So if anybody has left me any comments through the weekend, I'll be able to reply. But you see, it's kind of a teardrop design, and I'm going to talk about that more in another video some other time. Soon, very soon, I'm going to be doing another subject, and I'll talk about this hat a little bit more, even though this is a video about Akubra hats. That's not really hat-specific tangents, let's just say. It's more stylistic tangents. So I guess if you're interested in how to properly style a hat like this, look for that video soon-ish, maybe. But I've already done kind of videos about that too, so hopefully not too. But again, a very wide crown. I think these are 4.5, and I had a measure here, and I don't know. So the one time I need it, I don't have it, but I don't think these are quite 5-inch. I would say not. If you're measuring at home, what can you use? I don't know. Yeah. A Sharpie marker. So if you use a Sharpie marker and you get to about the cap, not quite the cap, does that register? However wide that is, right? Yeah, somewhere in there. And I'm sure it says on the website anyway, if I was really worried about it. But again, this being, I think, about a 3.5. You can just do it that way. You can see. It's maybe 1.5 inches, maybe an inch in some spots, maybe more like 2 inches at the front. It'd be easier if I put it inside because it'll squish. Okay. So yeah, you can see that there's a little bit of difference, but you can't go too wide with a brim because then you can't function in the thing. You're getting your hat knocked off constantly by every branch and that kind of thing. Depends on if you're out in open country or if you're in more of the woods. I'm kind of trying to go into the woods and usually end up more in a bit of open country, so there's that. But yeah, I can wear it, but it's pinching. It will leave a mark where the leather band digs into the forehead once I get it kind of right where I want it. Again, it doesn't stay there the whole time either. By the time I notice it's ridden up, it's definitely a hat I would need a chin strap with, which is part of the reason why I haven't worn it, because I don't want to just be walking and having to constantly just hold my hat, even though maybe that would help it take its shape. Or maybe I can get it steamed and change the fit slightly. I don't think you'll be able to make it bigger, but you might be able to make it, a little more conformy, because like I said, I have a little bit of room on the sides here. I don't know if you can see that. Or if I press the sides here to where it's a little too round, then it's fitting slightly more correct. And again, my hair is a bit too long, and it's almost too warm for hair anyway, so we'll see how it goes. In the near future, if I can even survive having long hair for much longer, I doubt it. And so I don't know what else to add other than there's your unboxing for 2 hats, even though I didn't list it as an unboxing or list a second hat, and didn't talk about both hats maybe as much as you want. But they are stiff, stingy brim, but it's not completely, I mean, you can kind of tweak them a little bit maybe with some steam, but I wouldn't push it. I think it's more a case of if they get messed up somehow, can you steam them back into shape? I don't know how effective that is, because the one I have is a little bit crumpled on the one end, and I've just been wearing it like that. So if I go to try to get this one adjusted, I'll take that one too and see if they can do something with it to kind of fix it. But again, that was like a $70 hat 12 years ago or something, not a really expensive. Well, it'd be more expensive now in today's dollars, but it'd still only be like $150 or something, maybe. I don't know. Okay, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I'll try and give you an intelligent answer. Don't hold your breath. Hold your breath. I don't know. Whatever. Like I said, sorry this video was a little bit more off the cuff than usual, but whatever.